Well, hello there, Calvary friends. Kyle, Otto here. If you don't know me, I'm here at my workplace at Waverly Gardens in North Oaks, and I sure miss you all. I haven't seen many of you in probably a couple months, but it sure is good to be seen. And I've been doing some thinking and going through old boxes and things with the extra time that we've had during this time of separation from one another. And I found some old letters. That's what I'm looking at here. Some from my brother and my mom and friends from when I was in the Army. And I was reading through some of the things that they wrote to me, and my mom was writing to me some inspiration and encouragement to pursue my role as a leader. She was saying, God's made you to be a leader in your relationships and future family and church and all that. And she said, God's made you to be a leader, so act like one. And she encouraged me from the book of Proverbs 13:20. She said, the wise, those who walk with the wise grow wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. And that's something I learned to live by later. But it so encouraged me to see how people were expressing, like my mom and my family, friends were expressing love to me from such a great distance in those days. And my brother wrote to me also because I was in Army basic training at the same time he was. He joined the Army 3 weeks before I did. And so we were writing back and forth to each other, and I'd completely forgotten that until I found these letters. And he was encouraging me to press on, strive for the goal, he said, because he knew that I was having a hard time. And he took the time and thought of me to write to me. And I thought, what an incredible expression of love that is, to take that time, even in the midst of his own difficult time, to show the love that he had for me, to encourage me, tell me he was proud of me. And as I read these letters, I just thought, it just occurred to me that even the love that I feel from my family and friends who wrote to me, and that yearning that I have for closeness with them again as we're all separated, that kind of love, that's the kind of love that Jesus has for us. If we want to know what Jesus' love is like for us, it's like that, but actually even better, even more intense. Because 1 John 4:7 says, love comes from God. It says, Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God. And whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. 1 John 4:7 and 8. And, as I'm thinking about the ways that my family and friends have expressed love for me, it's just a reflection of the love that comes from God, because whatever human love we can express to one another in the earth, all of it originates from God. There would be no love in the world if it had not come from God. So anytime you experience love from another person, that's love that comes from God. And if you want to know how much Jesus loves you, think of the love relationships that you have with the people who are closest to you, who love you the most. And that's how Jesus feels about you, how he loves you. And he'll never stop. He'll never quit. He'll never give up that promise, that oath that he made for you, that he swore for you to love you. And so I just, I'm encouraged by that, and I'd like to encourage you during this time that we're all having to spend a lot of time alone, to spend some time going through old letters or old photos, or just remembering times of God's faithfulness to you, whether it's through friends or experiences you've had. Maybe you love nature or creation, God's creation, and that expresses God's love to you. But whatever it is, find ways that Jesus has shown up in your life in the past, and think about, meditate on those times. And I did a meditation this week for my folks at Waverly Gardens called Finding the Shadow of Christ. And whenever Jesus shows up and is present in our life, he casts a shadow, like he's walking by. And just like it says in Acts 5:15, whenever Peter would walk by, there would be people who would send their sick to be near him, so that even his shadow could fall on them and that they'd be cured. But Jesus, how much greater even than Jesus is Jesus' shadow. When he passes by, his shadow falls on us. That's just a metaphor, but it's, Psalm 91 says we hide in the shelter of his wings, in the shadow of his wings. But when Jesus is present in our lives, then his shadow is the evidence of his presence in our lives. And his evidence that his shadow could be things like letters that were written to us, or ways that Jesus has been with us in our lives. But we need to look for those and be aware of it to see how much he has loved us. And it could be through people or many other means. But it's a really great time for us to take moments to remember the ways that Jesus has loved us. And I'd like to read a poem that I wrote of the ways that Jesus has loved me. And it's a poem that starts out from the perspective of the Samaritan woman at the well, whom Jesus pursued and sought out because she was an outcast, but he came to her and he loved her. And then I end with two stanzas that are my own story of how Jesus met me in a garden and redeemed me because of his love for me. He sought me out. So this poem is called The Well and the Garden. I sat beside a well where I to draw the day's refreshment come, away in thirsty deserts dry, away where shame may follow none. You came and sat beside where I with veiled face drew swift away, and gathered jars with downcast eye, until you stopped my heart to say those words so simple, deep, and true, that questioned and yet saw me there. But how was I to know that you, the Lord of heaven, for me should care? I walked among a garden black, with night's embalming shade of home. 'Twas there you came to draw me back. In darkness ransom me alone. Oh, let me be the incense sweet that hangs upon the blooming boughs, this song you made my heart repeat, where you came walking, then and now. That's my love song to Jesus because of the ways that he's loved me. And now I'd like to sing his love song for you as you spend some time these days finding the ways that he has sung his love over you in your past. But this is a song that is not a worship song. It's a song by a secular artist in the 1970s by the name of Dan Fogelberg. This song is called Longer. And it's not a worship song, but it's a love song. And when I hear the lyrics, it makes me think of this kind of love that Jesus has for us. That it says in Psalm 103, as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love toward those who fear him. And this song says, longer than there have been fishes in the ocean, higher than any bird ever flew, longer than there have been stars up in the heavens, I've been in love with you. And it says in Jeremiah 1:17, I have loved you with an everlasting love. I've loved you longer than there have been stars up in the heavens. And that's the way Jesus loves you and me. He's deeply in love with you. And so this is his love song. I'd like you to hear it as his love song for you. It's called Longer by Dan Fogelberg. Longer than there have been fishes in the ocean, higher than any bird ever flew, longer than there have been stars up in the heavens, I've been in love with you. Stronger than any mountain cathedral, truer than any tree ever grew, deeper than any forest primeval, I am in love with you. I'll bring fire in the winter, you will send showers in the spring, we'll fly through the falls and summers with love on our wings. Through the years, as the fire starts to mellow, burning lines in the book of our lives, till the binding cracks and the pages start to yellow, I'll be in love with you. I am in love with you. Longer than there have been fishes in the ocean, higher than any bird ever flew, longer than there have been stars up in the heavens, I've been in love with you. I am in love with you. Let that be Jesus' love song over you now and always, while you're separated maybe from loved ones or people you desperately want to see. Jesus loves you even more than the love you long for from those people that you love so much. He said in Isaiah 43:1, I love you and you are mine. Jesus' love is so deep for us. For you, don't forget it. Remember that song, and you can go look it up on YouTube if you want and hear the original version, and think of that when you think of Jesus' love for you, when you think of that. So I hope that blesses you, and I pray God's peace to you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.